palms here. Let's have a nice ice cold Bud Light. This is good beer drinking weather right here. It's 32 Celsius, so that's 90 Fahrenheit, right around 90 Fahrenheit. And it's, I think, the 7th of July today. 7th of July. It's around 10 o'clock, 9:30 at night. Just turning on the lights on the palms and on my front. And man, it's hot. Every day is about 35 Celsius, 93, 95 Fahrenheit. This is with watering the grass. It's getting pretty dry. Anyways, this video is about, I just figured I'd give a quick little, see what's going on every day. I've been busy at work too, and I've been busy drinking these, and I'm just about to get in the hot tub actually. I gotta open this up. I set it. This is how warm it has been out here. I set it to 80 Fahrenheit. Sorry, I was just planting and there was dirt under my fingernail. And it's 95. Because the temperature is 90 or more, the water won't go down. So the only way to make it colder is if I add cold water. So I'm gonna try to add a bit of cold water right now because that is still too warm for me. Beautiful evening though. But anyways, so let's get to the point of this video. So the point of this video is, why does my Mexican fan palm only have like 2 leaves on it? So this one actually has 4. But I see them all the time in the store or from people. They post pictures of them and they don't have this one, and they just have like one healthy spear and 1 leaf, or 1 more leaf maybe. So why does that happen? What's going on there? So the first thing I would look at if it's a Mexican fan palm is the size of the trunk versus the pot. I can look at this right now because I've grown so many of these, and I can tell that this trunk right here is it's not quite as thick as a beer can, but it's pretty close to a beer can size. That is too thick for this tiny of a pot. This was rooted out in the fall, but I have so many of them, so I didn't bother repotting it. But over the winter, it had lots of leaves. Even about a week ago, it had I just clipped off 3 yellow fronds off it. So yeah, it 3 in one day, but it was yellowing off more. So what happens is, especially now, this is it's too small of a pot, but it would have actually kept those leaves if 2 things: either it was in a larger pot, or if it had more water. If you keep feeding it the water, because all spring and all even all spring and all summer so far, I've been giving it tons of water, and if it dries out completely, then it will let you know. It will take the moisture, it will recycle some of the nutrients back out of the leaves, back to the palm. It'll pull it back out, and it'll bring it back into the roots, the moisture, and or just nutrients. Anyways, because when you're starving it, so it needs more nutrients, which is the space, like it's a bigger pot, and it needs more water. If you just keep it watered all the time, you keep it nice and wet, they'll tend to keep a few more of their leaves if they are root bound. So if they are more root bound in the pot, and you know they are, mostly I would check repotting. If there's lots of roots all around it, with a Mexican fan palm, they grow so fast, you can be repotting them very, very frequently. Like, I can repot these 3 times a season in southern Ontario, Canada. So that's with temperatures in the highs usually around 30 Celsius for the daytime high, and lows around 20. That's a pretty typical summer day, little sometimes into the 35s, and closer to the 40s. We've been now 36 and stuff like that, which is a little hotter than we're used to, but typically around 30, 31, 32 for a really good high, and 27 on a cooler day maybe. You won't have any days here at 20 degrees or 25 Celsius. So if you live somewhere like the UK, a lot of people try to grow these in UK, or if you're in the west coast of Canada, 20s and stuff like that. These don't dry out in 20, not very quickly anyways. You get over 30 degrees, it really, and a lot of sun, it really starts to suck the moisture out of these pots. But anyways, so that's one of the first things I would check. Now, see, because you can have a small one. These were repotted, and they had only 2 leaves. So this is the opposite way. This one here is losing its leaves quickly, and it's trying to go down to 1 or 2 leaves. And this one right here It was one of these ones I had in a red solo cup that was super root bound, needed to be repotted in the fall as well, or even sooner. And then I switched it to this pot, and now it's in this bigger pot, and I fertilized it and watered it. Now it's had the extra room, and it's got the extra fertilizer. And now for a smaller palm, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, and it's working on number 5. So it's already got this palm beat. And the size of the palm will let you know why it's holding so many leaves too. If it's a little palm like this, it's always going to hold less. As it gets bigger, like this one can hold probably 8 to 9 roughly in a palm that size in a 3-gallon. And then as you get into the 7 gallons and stuff, these can hold upwards of 10 to 12 leaves. Usually right around that 12 to 13 mark. If they've just been repotted and they're fertilized and they're really well watered, they'll start to drop the 12th or 13th. They won't usually go into the teens, from my experience. Different if they're in the ground, but if they're in a pot, that's roughly how many they will. So this one here has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This has 7 leaves, and they're bigger leaves. And this palm right here is actually younger than this one. This one's had way less. This has been neglected more. This is 1 year older than that palm, and that's in a bigger pot, and that's been going into bigger pots quicker. That's why it looks better. And then this one here, I just clipped another one off of this one, but this one's about the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's got its 8th one starting there. That's not amazing, but a lot of these leaves were indoor leaves. They were grown in the shade or in the late fall, and then acclimatized to the shade in my house. So that's why they look beaten up and ratty like this. And they're starting to take them back. This one also needs to be repotted though. This is a 7-gallon pot, but this trunk is quite a bit bigger. So this one is quite a bit bigger than a beer can, and it's in a 7-gallon pot, and it's been in that pot for quite some time. So this one here as well needs to be repotted. But that's one of the first things I'd look at is repottedness. Like if it needs to be repottedness, that's not a word, but anyway, if it needs to be repotted, how much water you're giving it. If it's extreme, if it's very warm temperatures, give it more and more and more heat. If it's getting more and more and more heat, it needs more and more water. So keep them nice and moist. Don't drown it. You can actually give these a lot of water. You can even leave these a little bit of water at the bottom of their tray for a little while, wicking up and stuff. Like, it won't hurt these right away. They can take some pretty swampy conditions actually. They'll take it super wet or super dry. They tend to look better in super wet. So a lot of people think it's a desert palm, give it less water. That's one of my main tricks. I've said this in other videos. Give them a little more water. They do like it. They're a plant. They like water. A lot of people think it's a desert plant or desert palm. They're like, oh, it's from the Baja of California. Don't give it any water. Well, you wouldn't have a desert then. It would just be full of palm trees if that were the case, if they didn't need any water or they didn't want it. So yeah, definitely water them. These grow, I've seen these growing in swampy areas in Florida, and they like it. They like it fine. They're not quite as swampy loving as palmetto, but they definitely like it. So the age of the palm is the other consideration you have to take into how many leaves it's holding, that's what brings us over here. So the smaller they are, the less leaves they're going to hold. 10 in those size roughly. As you get a little bigger, as you get into like a 15-gallon size plant here, like this one. Sorry, it's getting dark out. This one here will maybe hold 15 to 20 leaves maximum, right? That one's got, I don't know, about 10 on it or so right there. And then as you get more, it might be too dark over here now. I started this and it was right at dusk, so it's about 9:30. It's almost 10 now, so it's a palmetto. Anyways, so yeah, this one here now, you look at this one, and this one here has, I don't know, 25, maybe 30 fronds on it. And when you're in the ground like this, and they're making like full mature size fronds like this, you can have this should have tons of leaves. This could have like, oh gosh, I've seen them with like it's got to be over 100, maybe even 200 fronds green on it, and they're keeping them green. Like even these ones that are kind of sagging down, they are still green. It's hard to tell, you can't see from the darkness of the video, but these are still green, even the ones that are sagging down on the ground. So this one here will hold tons of leaves because it's got infinite space for the roots to grow, and the roots are staying nicely moist. And I've been watering this one, and I fertilized it, so it's got the nutrition and the water and the fertilizer. So if your Mexican fan palm is not holding a lot of leaves, those are some tips and tricks. Look at planting it in the ground if you can. Look at bigger pots. They always love bigger pots. They do love water. Give them lots of water and fertilize them. Use a palm fertilizer, and they'll be happy and super dark green and super fast growing. Well, you'll notice when they're holding less leaves, they'll be growing slower. When they're holding more leaves, they grow faster. This one here has the most leaves on it, grows absolutely the fastest. The next fastest one would be that one in the ground over there, and then the next fastest would be those other ones there, and so on. And the less size of the pot and less room they have and less water they get, the slower they grow. So that's a tip of the day for Washingtonia robusta, for growing them, for trying to keep more leaves on them. So good luck, and if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below. And yeah, anyways, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. I should have turned this light on earlier so we can see better. But anyways, thanks for watching, and like and subscribe. And if you want more information, or if you want to see more videos like this, just write down below and make some requests, different things you might need, or requirements or questions about growing palms. If I can answer them, I will. If not, I'll ask people that can answer them. So thanks for watching, guys. I got to get in my hot tub here because I'm sweating, and dump a bit of cold water in there. Later.